My mom would take me down every night to the Sioux River and let me play with minnows in the brook, you know, and everything. And so I remember those details, little bits and pieces, and how great it was. Sun going down over the bluff there, and we spent so many nights there. And I paint a lot of those feelings right into the pictures. It's always fun when I paint a sunset because I'm right back thinking about it again.
That little boy became America's most popular artist, Terry Redlin. In his South Dakota studio, Terry creates the wildlife and Americana images that have come to symbolize nature and life in a simpler time. The earthy colors, blazing sunrises and sunsets, and the nostalgic themes bring collectors back to Terry Redlin art and fine collectibles. Like many artists, Terry's early experiences have a profound influence on his art.
My mother has a story that I was really being a rowdy in the house. So my mother put me down with some crayons and the newspaper, the funny papers. And the story she said was that grandmother came past an hour later and I was still busy drawing, and she goes, "My God, Daddy, get in here quick. Look what he's done." And so I could take and I'd blow up these drawings, you know, but they're all in proportion.
Terry's love for nature and the outdoors was leading him to a life as a gunsmith, forest ranger, or bait shop owner. Those dreams ended tragically when Terry lost a leg in a motorcycle accident at the age of 15. During his recovery, he naturally turned to one of his first loves, art, a turning point that would define a life's work.
And the other thing that was nice, and I never forgot about it, was that the state came in and gave us the tuition free. They sent a person to the house and they sat down with my mother and me, and he said, "Do you have any idea what your son would want to strive for in his life?" And she said, "Well, he wants to be an artist." And I kind of looked up like that, you know, and when she said that, and his look on his face was just like this. He went, you know, like, "Oh my God, what a waste of money. You know, what a waste of money that's going to be." But okay, if that's what you want. So, and I stuck to that.
By his side for over 40 years has been Helene. In 1956, Terry married his high school sweetheart. You will see traces of her family's name and business, Langenfeld's Ice Cream and Dairy, in Terry's Americana art.
Helene and I have been together now for probably about 44 years. 2 of the years courtship time in high school. And then we got married about a year out of high school, and we packed up, went to St. Paul and started school. And they had accelerated courses where if you went year-round, you could get at the time it was a 3-year course. So I was able to get out in 2 years. I was very anxious to get into the workplace. And then Helene worked at night as a telephone operator in the cities.
At age 40, after many years as a successful commercial artist, Terry felt the need to get back to what really made him happy, painting wildlife and working on his own.
Worked in the workplace for 20 years or 25 years, and then when we decided to make this big change in our life and pursue the wildlife art, I know it was a big change for both of us, but then that's when we decided that, well, she will do the same thing. She'll do the business part of it, any financing, and worry about that, and then let me paint.
Terry's work is a personal account of life, the life he saw as a child and the world that grew around him as a man. When you see a Terry Redlin piece, you know that it's all Terry.
Like most artists, you're kind of burying your soul, and you get embarrassed easily, especially when you start, you get very embarrassed. And I had to come up with a thing that I could live with, and it's a simple thing that I always tell people. I'm not ashamed of anything I've done, because if it's all mine and not copied, it's as good as I could do at that time, and that's good enough at that time. So, and the goal is to always strive to get more freer and better and everything, but if that's as good as you can do at the time, and it's all yours, it's all original, great.
Originality is the theme of the Redlin Art Center in Watertown, South Dakota. Over 100 Redlin originals are on display. This elegant structure was a $10 million gift to Terry's generous state of South Dakota for underwriting his art education. Now run by the Redlin Art Center Foundation, the museum is a son's tribute to his father's art. Terry's son Charles was instrumental in conceiving, designing, and building the center.
Chuck came to me one time when I was signing prints and sorting, and he said, "Dad, what are you doing with the originals?" And I said, "Well, Chuck, you know, I sell them." He says, "Oh, why don't you start hanging on to them? If you just don't sell them." He said, "I've got some great ideas for the future, you know, but it all starts with hanging on to the originals."
Charles and Terry Redlin have brought the originals home to Watertown for everyone to enjoy. The result is an award-winning showplace that over 500,000 people have enjoyed in its first year. When visitors see the originals, they are invited into Terry's world, a world of beauty, nature, childhood memories, and eternal optimism.